Call the meeting to order for the Conservation Commission and Inland Wetlands and Regulatory Watercourse Agency, the regular meeting for November 16th, 2021. And I'll do the roll call. I'm Marjorie Winters. We have Jason Levy, Jason Berman, Joe Campolito, and Don Eaton. And Charlie, would you serve for the vacancy that we have?
Sure.
All right. All right, and new business.
Yeah, I'll like I said, I'm just going to run you through the agenda real quick, just so that everything that we have in front of us. We're going to have new business. It's an emergency action that was taken. Then we have the old business of the Iron Horse Boulevard paving of the parking lot. In general commission business, we're going to have two sets of minutes, one from our meeting, one from the field meeting, and then we'll have an adoption of our calendar, and then there's an agent action for a pool, and then we'll go into the correspondence and conservation business, which is kind of in flux. So we'll go with that. And oh yes, Mr. Sanford is part of the group. Okay.
All right, so the new business is 21-21 Hot Meadow Street at Owensbrook Boulevard, Town of Simsbury, emergency culvert repair and reestablishment. Tom, would you fill us in?
Okay, I will leave it to the commission how far you want me to get into this. I'm going to give you a brief overview. I do have pictures that I can share if the commission so wants, but I think it's pretty visible what's been going on at Owensbrook Boulevard and Hot Meadow Street. The sewer department was doing a mark out for the call before you dig in that general area, and happened to notice that the entire upstream slope of a culvert at Owensbrook, right to the south of Liberty Bank and to the north of Meadowview Apartments, was compromised and subsiding into the stream bed. This is about a 25 to 30 foot drop. It had the potential to undermine the parking lot of the Meadowview Apartments, causing a life safety hazard to the residents over there. In their investigation, they found the outlet. They could not find the inlet, although water was somehow working its way through the old culvert, which dates back probably over 100 years ago. It is a dry stacked granite culvert in an arch. So you think of keystone stacked around in a circle. The downstream area was choked out with invasives and no longer accessible. In the upstream area, the same. Trees had grown into the area over time due to non-maintenance of the infrastructure. So due to the fact that it was a life safety issue under the town charter, both the town manager and myself issued emergency funding and permits to move ahead to alleviate any issues that may continue to degrade that slope. The soils in the area were very sandy. That's part of the problem. The trees collapsed very easily. There was not a lot of root hold. Everything over the culvert was a sand-packed crossing. Unfortunately, you have the culvert, and then there was a sewer pipe above the culvert, so that caused some technicalities. So I'll get into pictures if you want in a minute after I'm done with the narration.
The pictures, I think the pictures would be good. I did get invited out to the site. I had to go there with Mike Glidden and Tom Roy. It was a dramatic sight. And I was there the other day, and it's amazing how they stabilized. I mean, there was such a sharp drop off from the apartments. I was wondering how they were going to do it, but they've done a nice job stabilizing that.
Let me see if I can share a screen here. You got to bear with me. This is my first time trying to do this. No, that's not the screen I want.
That's all right. You can go down to the pictures now.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. There we go. Let's go with this. Can you guys see this, or is this not being seen?
We can see your screen.
Okay. With the red arrows?
No, we can only see your Google screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like Jupiter.
Yeah, let me get off of that then.
Click on the bottom. There's two documents open on the bottom. You should be able to click on them.
I'm
Not to
still,
impose.
I'm still trying to get back to where I was. So give me a minute. All right, I'm gonna just stop sharing. Then I'm gonna go back to share screen. 2 documents. All right, share screen. This is not showing you.
Looked like they were minimized.
Those are for, yeah, the iron horse.
Right.
22 iron horse.
Yeah, no, that's something different. All right.
Yeah.
So if I share my main screen, no, those are not what I want. Sorry. I'm trying to share my desktop. So hold on one second. Show my, oh, this is not gonna work for me. Basic.
Did everyone look at the pictures in the packet?
Those were the basic start
Yep.
points. With the where's the one they share my desktop? This sucks.
And there is also a lovely wetland, Cattell Marsh, just upstream from this area where the stream goes through the culvert, and then it daylights again just south of the Keystone culvert, which is really quite impressive. And then it goes under the road again, under Hop Meadow. But they're going to be trying to. I know there was a lot of what do you call it? Japanese knotweed in the
Yep.
the flood
All right.
of that little creek stream.
I think I've got something I can do. here.
Yeah.
Is that showing up now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. It took me a little navigating to get where I was wanting to be. So this is the general beginning of the whole thing. I put an arrow here over a piece of the curb block.
You
This is
want
the
to
fence.
you want to click on the image? Can you go through it that way? Because they're kind of small right now. Can you double click on that,
let me see if I can maximize.
or just click on it?
I'm double clicking. Is that make it any bigger?
No.
No. Crap. I'm not very adept at this, so excuse me for all this. And that didn't help at all. I don't think I'm doing very well at this.
There, click on it now. That's
I see
Open.
the little stuff and it just
There.
turns out small.
should.
I got to learn more presentations. Let's see. Is that bigger?
No.
That's just on the other screen.
I'm about as useless as a ice cube in our Antarctica. Oh man. Well, this is turning out to be.
Oh, right. Well, were some of these in our packet?
Yeah, the ones with the arrows are in the packet, so I could speak to them.
Okay.
But basically, those are just the beginning, showing all the invasive species throughout and where the subsidence areas were. What I wanted to show you is how the project progressed. And well, I'm going to have to take a tutorial on Zoom again, I guess. The basic process has been this. They removed a whole bunch of trees. Obviously, all of you have probably driven by it. It's a fairly high traffic area. If you haven't, you need to visit it. They exposed the culverts. They removed a lot of the trees. There were high growing catalpa trees, which are like first and secondary high growth trees that were all getting choked up by bittersweet. There was poison ivy. There was Rosa rugosa. I mean, not Rosa rugosa, but multiflora rosa. Japanese knotweed was prevalent throughout the area. And this, throughout the historical pictures, has been maintained more than it has been in the last 15 to 20 years. And what they did was, in order to try to make sure that the flow pattern hadn't been compromised from the sand flowing through that compromised culvert, was to draw it back, clear everything out, make sure the channel was stabilized, go in, cut back the hillside on top of the culvert in order to get as close to the sewer main as possible. And they're going to put in a diversion culvert, which means it'll be a bypass. It'll bypass the water around the old culvert without having to remove it, because there is a sewer line on top of it. It would be an engineering nightmare to try to levitate the whole entire sewer main and replace that culvert rather than just putting in a new from what looks like a 48-inch culvert to divert around the old one. The old one will still exist. It has historic value. It actually looks very nice. They will put this new culvert in to divert around that to continue the flow and to stabilize the area from any more subsidence. The feeling is that they would like to do some, I know this will take a good cue with the Conservation Commission, plant some pollinators in the area because it's an opportune place to do it. But in the meantime, just to stabilize the area, because it's this time of year, we'll probably get a winter rye down if we can get it stabilized in order to stabilize the slopes, get everything established, try to work with the area to make sure that it could take something that's a little more manageable. And that being, if they can do pollinator seedings, that would be a nice thing in order to maintain over the years, just so they have access in case something should happen. It is, unfortunately, it shows a lot of wetlands to the north, or excuse me, to the east and to the west towards Hot Meadow. But that's mainly due just to the water aspect of it. There is a more marshy area with cattails and phragmites to the east that they're not disturbing. But what they want to do is towards the west, or towards, I'm sorry, west is all the cattails and all that stuff. East towards the ridge with Hugh Tower on it and Hot Meadow, they want to do more of their pollinator planting there. And of course, on top of the sewer main, they want to maintain something that will not get root systems into the sewer system like the trees that had established.
This was a huge emergency project.
Correct.
But they've done it in good time, and I think it's the best of all solutions. It was a very dangerous situation there, and we were lucky that someone found it because it was kind of hidden.
Yeah, without the WPCA, we would have never known that was happening,
no.
and then it could have been
Bad.
it could have been issues for backups along Owens Brook and flooding, as well as for the Meadowview apartments as far as the subsidence under their parking lot.
So this is an emergency repair, culvert repair. Do we need a motion to? Do we have a? Do we have?
I would entertain a motion to accept the emergency approval for an application, because it's kind of like an agent action, but I was a little bit out of my box.
Yeah.
So if you could make a motion to approve the emergency application, I'd appreciate that.
For the emergency.
Motion.
We don't really have a. We don't have a
Emergency
application.
approval. I'm sorry.
Approval. Yeah. So we have. Do we have such a
A motion that we accept the emergency approval.
Second.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. No opposed. Okay.
Thank you for getting that handled.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
It was a bit of a surprise, and once I saw it, I thought that we would all be on board. So
Yeah, definitely better than collapsing parking lots and flooding.
Well, it was also, there's a potential for the collapsing building too. There's it,
Yeah.
it cut back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
it's surprisingly sandy. I was amazed, and it's that way along the old railroad bed too. There's a lot of sand in that area. I was surprised.
Thank you, glaciation.
I must have borrowed it from my neighborhood.
Well, thank you for that. Marjorie,
Okay, now we're on to old business. 21-19 to 22 Iron Horse Boulevard, Simsbury Performing Arts Center parking lot expansion and paving ADA upgrades and stormwater infrastructure improvements. I know some of us went to the site visit. So Tom, I think we have SLR here. He wants to take this one. He wants to present first.
I could say that the site visit was attended by, I believe, three or four of our members and two of the public, and we went through and showed on the ground where all the activities would be, and gave a brief overview of what the project entailed as far as locations and infrastructure as far as the site plan was presented to us. And I'll hand it over to SLR and the town engineers to move forward.
Yeah, Tom, Jeff Shea, I'll start, town engineer. With us tonight from SLR is Kevin Fusilier, who's standing in for Tom Daly. Matt Sanford, the environmental scientist, and Andrew Goralski, who's the site engineer. Also with us is Dan Gannon, our project engineer here in Town Hall. We're anxious to hear what questions you may have from the site visit, and I'll turn it over to Marjorie or Tom.
All right, I know we had a presentation from SLR last time, and we did get a letter in in our packet saying that there would be no impact for this project to the wetlands. When we were out at the site, it did look like there is some runoff going from the site currently into the wetlands. Does anyone have any comments from the site visit or questions they have about this project? We did have,
Marjorie,
yes.
we had some questions around those light posts.
Yes, we did.
If there's, I just want to remind, are those light posts going to be affected by this change, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, are they going to be moved?
Yeah, so
I think
if you'd like, I could answer that.
If you
This
can.
is Kevin Fusilier with SLR. There is 2 light poles on the site. One is slated to get relocated to one of the painted islands. The other is going to be removed and currently just stockpiled. I'm sorry, there might be 3 within the that would fall in that western basin that we intend on forming. But only 1 light pole is going to get reinstalled as part of this project.
Yeah, because I think what we were looking at was as you approach the dog park on the western side, which would be to your right, there's several decorative light poles along there, and the proximity to the bioswale to the west. Is that right, Kevin? Jason? I think that's what we were talking
Correct. Those were
Okay.
the 3 I was talking about. Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so the one that's getting relocated is more interior to the site, but the ones along the side, there are 2 towards the southern end that do fall within that basin that will be removed as part of this project.
about. So the western side will be preserved.
The western side will have 1 light pole remaining, and that's in the vicinity of the electric. There's some electric structures out there.
Yeah, they have the conduit boxes and some other stuff over there. Okay.
I did notice when we went on the site visit that there are quite a few invasive plants along the edge of the parking lot. Will they be treated and removed? Will they be as a part of this project?
I'll let Matt Sanford speak to that.
Hi, I apologize. My camera doesn't appear to want to work this evening for some reason, even though I used it 5 minutes before I got on here. Again, it's Matt Sanford, professional wetland scientist, registered soil scientist with SLR. There is some species of invasive species along the edge. These include autumn olive and multiflora rose. There will be some limited removal of those species in 2 locations, primarily water quality basin number 3, which is located just northeast of the existing maintenance shed, as well as an area along water quality basin number 2, which is just south of the maintenance shed. In those areas that we do show some minor clearing in order to tie grades in, those particular species, multiflora rose and autumn olive, would be removed from there.
All right. When you say removed, will they be pulled or will they be cut and pasted? Or
In the case for those 2 areas, those would be physically removed mechanically.
okay, and then the soil will be stabilized. How?
So we have, so obviously we have a silt fence that'll be located between our grading limit and the existing wetlands to the east. And then we are calling out for a native New England seed mix to be planted along the edges of the basins and obviously interior of those bioswales.
And do you have an idea of, does anyone have an idea of when this project would be undertaken?
Marjorie, ideally, we'd want to get started in March, subject to any limitations on, seasonality. That's our goal because we need to complete the project before the Performing Arts Center events approximately on Memorial Day.
Oh. Sounds good. Any other questions or discussion? Well, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve this project. Rush, would like to take this one.
I'll give it a shot. I make a motion that application 2919-22, application 21-19, 22 Iron Horse Boulevard represents a regulated activity.
Second.
Do you want to say why? Due to activity in the
or-
review area?
Because it's in the
Upland.
upland review, wetlands review area.
Okay. All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, good.
And I make a motion that application 21-19, 22 Iron Horse Boulevard does not represent a significant activity.
Second.
Is it because it's not a significant activity because the soil's already been disturbed? Is that the right rationale behind it? Or is it a significant activity, but because the soil has already been disturbed, it doesn't it can still be approved? That's just.
Or because of the sediment control.
It could be there's no significant impact to the
Wetlands.
okay.
Okay.
Wetland.
Second.
All, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right.
And then finally, and I'm going to read this off. I hope I'm getting it all. I make the motion to approve application 21-19 at 22 Iron Horse Boulevard with the standard conditions. The Simsbury Performing Arts Center applicant, Town of Simsbury. Assessors map H09 block 226 lot 003A zone SC, expansion of an existing parking area with pavement and stormwater improvements as well as ADA upgrades in the seating area.
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Charlie, did you have something?
Yeah, just a quick question. Are there any special conditions to go with this? Because it's the Simsbury Meadows area. You said the standard conditions, and I was just looking to see if there are any special conditions that were being put forward in here, and I didn't see them.
I don't think we had. any.
That would be left to the commission if they saw anything that needed to be parsed out.
Okay, but there was none that you suggested, Tom, on your end.
I would say that the only outside condition you could say is to follow the state regulations for the NDDB regulations.
All right.
So I would amend my motion to include that.
That's fine.
And Jason, do you want to second? All right. And again, any more discussion? Thank you for bringing that up, Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right, on to the general commission business, minutes of October 19th. Did anyone have any changes to that or to the October 27th meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve those two sets of minutes?
A motion, we approve those two sets of minutes.
For October 19th and 27th. All right, do we have a second?
I'm all second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. All right, now agent actions, 21-20-19 to 19. Talcott Mountain Road, Mark Shapiro, construction of an in-ground pool in the Upland Review.
Luckily, I don't have to share a screen on this. I'm going to work on that, folks, because I really have good pictures. I really feel bad about that. If you want them, I can present them later. You can come by and see them. This was for. No, this is the wrong application. Which one do I got here? That's in-ground pool. Sorry, I've got the agenda in here. Okay. Couple pages deep for the application. This is basically for an in-ground pool in the upland review at 19 Talcott Mountain Road. It's an in-ground pool with a safety fence. They were, from the looks of the wetlands, 81 feet from the wetlands area. They're putting an in-ground pool in just in the rear yard of their house where they've had deck expansions and the such in the past. Luckily, they had a very up-to-date engineered plan when they did the deck because there was some conflict. So we have a flagged map in our office. So the 81 feet from the wetlands, standard in-ground pool, standard the same pumps that they use now, the filter pumps that we've talked about in the past. It seems to be standard practice now to stop discharge flushing. I checked on that as well. And other than that, nothing really encroached into our area. The topography was very good for just minimal silt fencing. And so I approved that.
Was it in a grassy area?
Yeah, it's maintained lawn, even where the wetland soils were flagged. Unfortunately, due to the development and the age of the development, was still maintained lawn for the, I would say at least half of the wetlands were still maintained lawn.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the update on that. And I misread my minutes, my agenda. We were supposed to, under general commission business, adopt the 2022 meeting calendar.
Oh yeah, we skipped the calendar. I worked hard on that, people.
And it was lovely. And it was lovely. I'm sorry to.
Oh no, it's quite all right. I'll give a quick run through because this year we don't have as many holiday conflicts. We don't have election conflicts this year. We seem to skip past all of those. So we maintained our August recess of the first Tuesday in August. And then we had a conflict with Yom Kippur in October. So that first Tuesday in October will not be a meeting. Other than that, we have every first and second open. And thinking of the Christmas holiday, we are 5 days away from the Christmas holiday, or excuse me, 4 days away. So it is a possibility, but if we run into conflict, we can work around that if there's an issue.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to accept to adopt the meeting calendar for 2022?
I move to accept the calendar for 2022.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Jason. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, now on to correspondence. Does anyone have any correspondence? Anything, Tom?
There's something itching in the back of my head and I still can't place it. I don't think it's an emergency, but otherwise it'd be in the forefront of my cortex here. But
All right.
nothing new and happening. We did get through the last cycle of storms really well. I would like to tell you all that. I was in the area on Saturday and just got off the ridge just before the sky opened up on that one. I'm still trying to figure out what the two people who were going up when we were coming down were thinking. Hopefully they got out of there all well. But I did ride that one out going down Nod Road into Avon to have after hike food. So yeah, that was interesting, but we seem to have held pretty well. In thinking of the Owensbrook project, the inspection yesterday was very good. It was very stable after all those rains. And I know they were coming down hard. They were coming down sideways. So it was a concern of mine. They do have hay bales in place around the inlets and outlets in order to minimize acting as check dams. And they seem to have held up very well. So just want to say that we got through that round after a season of some really bad rains. We fared well on that.
Yeah, it came down pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
We were up at Humeline Tower at 2:30 and the two people with me said, "Oh, what rain? What are you talking about?" And I showed them on the radar on my phone. I said, "Let's start hiking down." And by the time we got out, it opened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, radar.
At least we didn't have any tornadoes up this way.
No.
God bless.
November tornadoes in Connecticut.
Who would have thought?
You know, next thing you know, they'll have thunder snow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Hey,
it.
I've seen
Thunder
that.
Snow is cool.
I've seen that. I like
That's really lovely. Yeah.
Another New England
Yeah.
novelty.
that.
It's gonna be the season of my favorite weather terminology. Genesis.
Yes.
Oh,
All the meteorologists get so excited when they get to say that too.
I think it was last month, but I don't know why I just thought of it. What did they had some ceremony at the Meadowwood
Yes.
property?
It did.
What was that?
Yes,
What was
they
that
had-
all about?
They had a ribbon cutting for the final acquisition of the Meadowwood property. They're fully closed on it. We own what we own. There will be 116 to 118 acres of ag lease on those properties. We do have interest in that. We're working on our request for funding proposals in order to put that out this winter so that we can get active ag leases on those properties, as well as some to the east of the Barn Door Triangle, because there's one parcel over there than what was typically called the Napolitano piece, because the Napolitanos leased it for so many years. That will be up also for ag lease. So with that, we look forward to procuring some active agriculture that has been pursued on those properties over the years.
And Tom, maybe in the next package, we can submit for the commission, the agricultural policy, the RFP, for agricultural renting agricultural land.
Yes.
Open Space Committee has been working hard on that, and I think they forwarded that on to the selectmen for the.
Yeah, there's another one that I think we can catch too that's going on to the selectmen as well. Excuse me.
Open space
Policy.
guidance.
Yep. And so we'll be able to present those to you at the next one, and I'll make note of that.
Good. And also, there's a lovely article in the New York Times about the purchase of the
Yes, there is.
Meadowwood property.
Mhm.
So it's nice when Simsbury makes it into New York Times.
Yep.
For good reasons.
For good reasons, yes.
That's right. That's right.
He's very proud. And then conservation business, do we have anything tonight? Okay. Then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Joe.
Second.
Thank you, Jason. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
Take
See
care.
All right. Thank you.
Good one. See you in a couple weeks.
Thanks,
Everyone have
Jeff.
a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank you.